Right, I'm in the shed. Sorry that you're so close to me, but it's just the way it is. Right, this is my Zziplex rebuild. This is a Zziplex 2500M. I've got two. I bought one from Tony's Tackle, and I will give you a show of that when I've finished it, but it's not finished yet. And through a live that I was doing one night, a subscriber who's a good mate now called Gordon very kindly sent me a Zziplex 2500M. The spigot was worn, I've fixed that, and I ain't showing how I fixed that, but I fixed that. And this, I've just, here, let me show you. This is the butt section. I've stripped it and I've Bonder sealed it. There is a couple of nicks in it. I ain't repairing nicks. I've Bonder sealed this butt section, but I've flattened it off with some paper so that when I put the shrink tube on, it grips. This is now going hard because I had to do it again because it had a couple of marks in it. So this is the rod. Let me just show you. It's got gold trims on it with red whippings. It's got this sticker on it. It's not going to have that sticker on it next time. It's going to have the same sticker as the rod that I've already done. And again, red with gold trim. Fuji eyes, they're the old ones. They're not going to have those eyes on again. They're going to have a more modern eye on. I am not doing this as original. This will be blinged up a little bit. It will be blinged up a little bit. I shall do some under whippings on two of the eyes, and the rest of them will just be as they are as you see them, but they'll be wrapped a different colour. They are K-Wag eyes, so they're different eyes, and I just wanted to upgrade it a bit, make it more modern. This is the butt section to the Zziplex 2500M that I bought, and I only had to replace one eye, but the rod was a bit worse for wear, let's say. You could fish with it, but it was needing an overall, so I did that. It's this here. I've got a reducer on here. I've got to do this whipping here. I'm waiting for my high build to come now. Japanese shrink tube on it. It's whipped in black and silver, and that's it. So that's the butt section for the Tony's Tackle. Obviously the top section is black and silver. This, I'll tell you now, is going to be black and gold. That's how I want to do it. I know it was whipped in red before, but I don't like red. Not like that anyhow. So yeah, this is the start of the rod build. You've seen the rod. It is literally not going to look like this when it's finished. I've marked all the eye placements on the bench. So here is in relation to these eyes there. I've done that all the way along the rod, and I've also took measurements of where the whippings are. That is irrelevant now because I'm changing the eyes. The K-Wags will be a bit further to the left and not so far to the right, or the same at the right. So yeah, this is the start of the build. It's going to be just showing you exactly what I'm doing. It's not going to be long-winded. I'll start a whip and finish a whip. I ain't going to show every whip, and it's going to be as short as I can make it, so it's okay for Tom to edit, or myself. We shall wait and see. The one thing I can't do is on this rod here, it's black all the way along, and then here, I don't know if you can see that, it goes black there, and then it's carbon. I don't know how Tony Carroll did that. He must have masked it up, I reckon. But then if he masked it up, when you rub it down to make it smooth, there'd be a lip there, wouldn't there? And if you rubbed it down, you'll rub a bit of this off and a bit of that off. So I don't know how he did that. I'm not doing that. It's all going to be black. There's a few little dents in it and stuff, but I don't know how to repair that. I'm sure that you can get some sort of filler. But I ain't fussed about that. I don't mind having it so it's had a life before. I don't ain't too fussed with that. But when you see this rod, it, apart from the odd little mark, it will look like a brand new rod. And it will be good for me to use. So yeah. Next time you see me, I'll be stripping it. And I left these two eyes on because I shall use those two eyes to line up the tip ring, and then I can take these two eyes off, sand it all down, and once it's sanded down I can Honda seal it. So we're just getting these stickers off now. Sometimes they're hard work, sometimes they're easy. Oh, how much luck was that, eh? Sometimes you're lucky. Sometimes you're at it all day. Well, not all day. So this is a decorative whipping. That's all that off. That was either put on by Terry Carroll or someone at Tony's Tackle or somewhere. Well, that come off so easy, didn't it? And look, now you can see that sometimes it don't come off quite so easy. Tweezers sometimes help. Right, that just wants sanding down now. So where am I at? Well, I'll show you. We've put that off, the decorative strip, the stickers are off. 2500M sticker and the Zziplex sticker which was there. We took this eye off, this eye off, that eye off, strip of my heater, that one and that one, and we leave these two on to line up the tip eye. I leave the tip eye on simply because it enables me to not have to worry about where the spine of the rod is and work that out, because it takes me about an hour and a half to make sure all my eyes are lined up, let alone if I had to work out where the spine was, it'd probably take me 2 hours. Keep checking and checking and checking. So I just leave 2 eyes on, stick the tip eye back in because I took that off to get the right size for the new tip eyes. Once I stuck the tip eye on, I'll take the other 2 eyes off. Now with this rod, this is for you, Gordon, as well. What they've done is they've varnished this and blacked it, I presume. But where the eyes are, it's pure graphite. So when I rub this down to lose these marks here and here on all the eyes, there's another one. I've got to be very careful not to rub too much on these. I've got to clean it up and get rid of all these bits. But I can't over rub it because what I'll do is I'll start wearing through the graphite. This whole rod's going to get black, so it's all painted with pigment. But you just got to be a bit careful, haven't you? Because normally, this is the first rod I've come across this, normally the rods are all varnished or Bonder sealed. You take the eyes off, and when you're rubbing it down, you're actually rubbing the varnish away. You're not damaging the rod. So I have to be very, very careful with that. The first rod of this construction, how the eyes are put on, I've come across. So see you in a bit on the next exciting instalment in the shed. So we heat the eye, being very careful not to overheat it. I've got a floor layers welder here. This is a fitter's welder. It's what I have. I'm lucky to have it, and I can set the temperature. So I can set the temperature to whatever I want by this control. So hopefully it limits. It doesn't enable me to burn the rod. I'm warming the epoxy resin up to enable me to get the knife blade in. This black you can see here, that's through the eye going all manky. See that? Cut that quite easily. Be careful with this point of this knife. You need to have contact with the rod, so you're pushing the knife and not going like that. So you got control of the knife blade. Yes, things still go wrong, but then you don't stab the point in the rod blank like I've done in the past. I'm now getting hungry. I haven't had my breakfast yet. Time is 11 minutes past 11. Don't think the welder's warmed up yet. That's the eye off. Get that off while it's still hot. Just got to take your time. Don't dig anything into your rod blank because it will damage it. Yes, you can repair it, but it depends how bad it is. There it is. You can get the end right at the end if you want to mess about. Probably quicker, to be honest, but this is what I'm doing. I'm not here to do it correctly, I'm just showing you how I do it. Not an educational video, I'm just showing you how I do it. If you want to go watch someone do rods properly, there's loads of rod builders on Facebook and on YouTube. But this is how I do it. This is now my, what, 2, 4, 5, possibly 6th rod that I've done. Hey, there we go again. Now there's just the gold to deal with. Now it might be my 7th rod I've done actually. There you go. That'll come off when I sand it. Then we need to get this bit of high build off here because, like I said earlier, this has been varnished, and this here, where my finger's touching now, where the eye was, that's just bare carbon. So we need to get this bloody lump of bogey off, or whatever you want to call it. And then be very careful when we rub it down. Use the back of the blade as a scraper. Don't put any pressure on it, just run it along. Warm that up. Shouldn't be using any pressure. Back of the blade, as you can see. I suppose if you ain't got a gun like I've got there, you could use a hairdryer. Get that off. Gotta get that eye build off. Got a bit of air as well, look. Got to get it at the right temperature. You don't burn anything, you just get it at the right temperature. And you use the back of the blade. You can't cut yourself on that, you'll cut yourself on this. So not the blade, the back of the blade. Now we'll try and get this off. This stuff is normally, the tip tape is normally terrible. It'll either all come off in one go, or it'll come off in bits. Right, you can see what job I'm going to have there, can't you? Nightmare. Oh dear. Try this end. Got to pick at it and get it off. Always a pain. Right, I'm not going to film that. You can see how hard work that is going to be getting that off. It's a case of heating it up and picking a bit off. You must not scratch the blank. If you do, then you've created a weak point. I'm not saying that it don't happen, I'm just saying you've got to be very careful. So you see me remove an eye. I've removed the high build that was in between and knocked the high build up which is on the end of the whippings. So it's all off. That's it there, perfect. That's ready for a light sanding that's done. This stuff I'm going to have to pick off. I'll get this off, take this end tip off there. I've stuck the tip on. That is in line with that. That is perfectly sound and stuck on, so I know where the spine of the rod is. The trouble with these BNMGs is you put them on and they all, because these arms come up, they always look out of line, but it isn't, it's spot on. So what I'll do is, I shall get this off. Next time you see this rod, this will be off and I'll be sanding it. Right, take 2 of that. It's very hot. It's the Sunday before the 2 hot days in July. And everything's going wrong really. So I'm now doing this again. I've got to get this done. So I've took time out, done it again. I've got a flipping gret washer in the GoPro so it don't fall over as though it's died on me. There's the glue stick I was looking for 3 days ago. Knew I'd put it somewhere. Right, so that's a good thing I found that. So I'm doing the top section of Gordon's rod. It's top section. I'm doing the top section of the butt of Gordon's rod that he sent me very kindly. It's a Zziplex 2500M. It's a decorative section at the top. Yeah, it's the decorative section of the butt where you have some weapons on. It's going to be black and gold. And I'm now going to have a attempt number 4 or 5. Right. So you go back, you come around, and then you go back over that piece of cotton that you just saw me do. And now I'm talking, I'm losing count. This is what's annoying me. This is hard work doing this and filming. And you undo that end where you started from, you take it off and you just cut it with a razor. So that's 5. So that's 9. So let's just push these up. Just briefly, I've got a drawing for a wrap machine that Steve Pudney sent me, but I haven't had time to do it yet, so I'm still doing it freehand. It's the way I do it. I am going to make a carriage, but I'm going to do it on bearings and everything, so I can just roll it along and stuff. Hadn't had time to do that yet. I'm a busy man. I'm always fishing, making videos. Tom's always editing. I work. in 2 jobs, and I'll get time to do this just through the summer months really. So yeah, I ain't had time and I ain't made it. I need to do it because it'll make it easy. But this is how I do it. I'm showing you how you can do it with a bare minimum of equipment. So I've attached the gold to this end, I've wrapped it around, and I've come round here, as you can see, and locked that first turn away from the 10, from the 9 that's there. Well, I think it was 9. This is the problem when you're filming. And it's just locked it in, so we'll just turn it now. So that's the start of 4. Take the razor blade. So that's 10 gold. Goes over the gold. Keeping tension on the gold. Pull the black round to there. Keeping tension on the black. If you lose it, you're buggered. I'm just used to doing it like this. Right. Chill no shape for 20 minutes. 1. Don't need to count now, do I? Just put 3 or 4 wraps round. There'll be people out there that rod build properly with a proper machine, that'll be cringing now. But like I say, I haven't made the rest of the gear. And I'll just do a few eyes a night because I haven't got much staying power for doing something like this in a shed that's absolutely sweltering. So, and yes, if I had the proper equipment, you could do it a lot quicker. I won't be in this sweaty shed with her, but I'll get round to it. And in the meantime, the water's dripping off my nose. And that's it, that's what I do. You don't have to do it like this, you can get the proper gear. Just tuck it all in, push it up. When you put the cotton on, if you pull it to the right a bit, it'll ride up the next one, but I haven't got it straight and level. Sometimes you do, sometimes you have to fight it all the way. It's just the way it is. But as you can see, that looks perfectly alright. So I'll carry on doing this up to air, and then I'll put a gold band in there at this end. That's all it's going to be, and then I shall bring you back and show you it. Right, so we missed a bit out. I got to about here and got the gold in my hand, and yeah, I didn't show that bit. It's the hottest day, or the first, it's the Monday of July, which is really hot. It's the 18th, and it is hot. So yeah, probably should have just done a live, to be honest, doing the fishing rod, but then I can't answer the comments, so I've put this together. It's only for Gordon to see and other people, just to pick up on what I might do and what I might not do, and I'm doing it as I've got nothing. So yeah, so what I've done is I whipped along as soon as I got to the gold. Well, when I got to here, I put the gold in under the cotton, whipped over it to hold it, got to there, and then looped the gold over the black, did the gold, looped the black over the gold, finished it off and pulled it through. You will see how it's done on some eyes, but on the top part of the rod, and it's all the same. I had a raised bit there with a Bonder seal. I knew I had, so I've rubbed that down. I've flattened all this off to make it dull, so that the shrink wrap tube grips. This has been rubbed down, but what you find is if you only rub it down lightly and then you clean it with methylated spirits, it sort of cleans it up a bit, but it's done. So what I'm going to do now is heat shrink it, which you will see next. Well, I've made a monumental balls up, and that balls up is, this is the shrink tube, 30mm shrink tube. This is 30mm shrink tube also. Can you see the difference in size? 30mm shrink tube, 30mm shrink tube. They're both 30mm shrink tube. Or this one was 30mm shrink tube, this smaller one here, before I laid it in the sun on the table outside. I thought I'd lay it on the table just to warm up. Thought it would take quite a while, and didn't think there'd be enough heat at 36 degrees to shrink this tube. How I was wrong. I looked at it on the table, probably left it too long, well, obviously, and could see that it was rather small. It's bordering on 25mm. Can't get 25mm on that blank. So I've had to order some more, so that's another 13 quid. But hey ho, there's not a lot I can do about it. This shouldn't go to waste. I think I might be able to slip that up my Kenzaki. So one day, in like 10 years, I might have to redo my Kenzaki grip. I've got one. So until that day, I'll have this one, won't I? But by then, it'll probably have started to perish and degrade. It'll also fit on a Any Fish Anywhere, but then I don't particularly like Any Fish Anywhere, so I shan't be getting one of them. I don't want to buy any more rods, to be honest. So I'm a bit gutted. I wanted to get that on shrink and then do the last bit of whipping to then put the heat shrink, put the high build on. But anyhow, that's enough of that. That's my cock up. I'll bring you back later on in the week when I do the next bit. If you cock up, it's normally a day. If you cock up on a finish or whipping, it's normally an extra day. But when you got to wait for stuff to come, it's purgatory, because you've got to wait for it to come. The chap that sends this out, it'll probably be dispatched in the next 10 minutes, because he's unbelievable. He's in the Isle of Man on eBay. So yeah, it's Japanese shrink tube. That's the only stuff I use because I like it. I like the feel of it, and it's plain and it's flocked. Not flocked, but it's got a texture to it. So see you in a bit. Next time you see me, I will be putting the heat shrink tube on and whipping. So bye. So I got the new shrink tube because the last one I left out in the sun. Plenty there. That was longer. So you slide the shrink tube, the rod down the shrink tube. This is Japanese shrink tube. Take your hot air gun. Seems to shrink a lot quicker and better in the sunshine. And all you do is you start at the top and work your way down. Never do this bit and then do a bit down there. I'm sure you'd get the air out because it would force it out, but you start at the top and you work your way down like I am there, so you can see that, the difference. And that's it. That's all you do. So I shall carry on down there until I get to the end, and then I'll show you how I cut the end off. So we're now doing the end. This is the bottom. So I've worked all my way down. So we've got the bottom of the rod now pointing upwards. can do this with hot water. You can leave it out in the sun as well on a hot day. Might need to be about 38 degrees C. Then poke that up inside, that's all I do. And that's it. One shrink tube. Then I always go up to the top again and just make sure the top is shrunk on. But I turned the bloody heat off, hadn't I? That's hot. Turn that on cold. Always turn the welder on to cold to let the air, so you take the heat off, turn it to 0, and then it blows air for it to cool the element down. And then you have one piece left, and that's what it looks like at the minute. One shrink tube. Next thing you're going to see me do is whip this bit here with a gold band in to replicate this at the top. Put the stickers on, high build it all. See you on the next stage. Right, I ain't got used to filming while I'm getting on doing a rod. So what I've tend to do, or tend to have done, is I whip the rod and then I think, shit, I ain't filmed it. And that's exactly what I've done again now. So basically what you've got is you've got my top whipping there, top of the butt of the rod, and then you come down, and the bit I was then going to film for you is this bit. So I taped it here, the end, the cotton, wrapped the cotton round and started whipping against the rubber to here. When I got to here, I tucked the gold under, whipped over the gold, and then swapped from black to gold. Gold trapped the black, did 10 turns of the gold, and then 9 turns of the black, and then pulled it back through with my cotton and cut it off and tamped it up. And then we've got the shrink tube all the way down, which will have a rod butt cap on. Yeah, I'm very sorry. I just keep forgetting. But tomorrow we'll put the decal on. So we'll put the Zziplex sticker up here and the word carbon on it, because it's an old rod and that's what they did. They didn't use a Zziplex sticker. That's something that I've added. As far as I'm aware, they never used a Zziplex sticker, because I got them to make one to replicate the one that's on the top section of the rod. So you'll see that next. It'll be a blink of an eye for you, and for me it'll be tomorrow. let's hope I get the first one on with no air bubbles. And yeah, but it's coming on nice. It's looking good in black and gold, isn't it? So that's the main thing. Right, so I've stuck the sticker on. What you use is this clear tape. I think it's some sort of sign maker's tape. I've got a sticker on there that's a double. It's on a clear, and then you've got red stuck on, and then you've got gold stuck on. So it's not a sticker that's smooth. It's got ledges in it. It's 3 pieces on, well, it's 2 colours, red and gold, on a clear sticky. So and you just use a bit of tape over it, and you just stick the clear tape on top of it, peel it off with the clear tape on so you can line it up. And then you just rub it round, making sure you do it a little bit at a time, up and down, and get the air bubbles out. If you don't put the tape over the top, then you rub the lettering off. Now this is a it's a replica of the original sticker. Now they used to print it on, so it was all just one piece, if you know what I mean. But the place where I go, they can't do that. And I don't know if anyone can. But she did say to me that the equipment to do that costs a fortune. So we're doing it this way. Once the high build is on, you can't tell that it's different layers. And it's exactly the same as what Terry Carroll used to stick on. Apart from this, because this I've designed that. It's basically because on the stickers you've got this red Z, which is original to how Tony Carroll used to put this sticker on. The butt just used to have carbon sticker put on, exactly the same as that. The one that I bought was in silver, so I've done one in silver, I'm doing one in gold, just so it's different. They used to do these rods, 2500Ms, with gold stickers on and silver. Basically, whatever stickers Tony Carroll had, he stuck on. So I've been told by rod builders. How true that is, I don't know. So once you've rubbed it on, you peel that off, like so. And there you have it. One stickered up, no air bubbles, black whipping, gold trims. My sticker that I've took off, that ain't my sticker that I've designed. Tony Carroll did it on this. You can see it at the end. But I just asked them can they replicate that Z at the end with the silver or the gold through it, so I can put it on the butt of the rod. Because if I go stick PowerTex, Zziplex PowerTex or Zziplex Performance sticker like the new rods have, it would look ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous on an old rod. So I think that gives it a little bit of bling, that Z. I think that gives it a little bit of bling, and it's in keeping with the era of the day. So we're now putting the high build on there, which is an epoxy resin, 1 part hardener to 1 part adhesive. And I'll just brush it on and make sure I get it into the cotton, because it can soak it up before I start building it up. Oh shit. Right, that's not good, is it? and that's got some stuff on that there. Bugger. So this is what happens when you start doing rods. Things go wrong. That's the way it is. It's the nature of the beast. Right. So I'm just literally putting it on the cotton at the minute. Other people might not do this. I don't normally do this, but today I am doing this. Pushing it into the cotton. And once we get this on, I shall turn the machine on and we'll do the rest of it. The cotton does soak up quite a lot of high build, but there's no right or wrong way of putting it on. Probably doing it the wrong way anyhow. Things fall out, things drop off. Just like life, really. Thing is, you do all this effort, you put all this effort into where I'm at now, and it can all go wrong. And you got to get the old methylated spirits, or I'm now using rubbing alcohol. And yeah, got to wipe it all off and start again. As long as I keep turning it, we're all right. Right, now we don't need to worry much more about that. But what we do need to do now is do this. So here we go. Keep turning. Get this on. The whole idea of it is to get sorted before you get going. I've lost me bit of film now. Right. Get this taped on so it can't come off. Right, now we can work at building it up. Brush it to the side like this. Any air bubbles that might be in, which are in, it will sort of try and brush them out. Yeah. Just want to get a thickness of high build on now, so that we cover it. And hopefully, because I've put some on already onto the cotton, when I come back it won't have sunk in and I'll be thinking, Christ, I've got to do it again. I didn't think I had mixed enough up, but I have. So you can just whack it on. You don't have to be, you don't want to be brushing it too much. Just get it on, try and get it level. But the revolving of the motor on the dryer should sort that out. Now I've got plenty on there. Now we'll sort this out here. Now I haven't put any tape on this. I'm going to try with this one, because I don't mind if there's any faults in this rod from what I've done, because it just shows my ability. And so to be honest, I ain't too bothered if it's got the odd fault in it. And to be honest, yeah, I could improve it, I could make it better. But the thing is, didn't know if that was filming then. Putting it onto the rod blank now, trying to get it straight. Then float it into it by putting some more on here and just dibbing it in like that, and then it will find its own level. You haven't got to worry too much. Now I'm going to try this freehand this time. Yesterday I used some tape. I think I might need to go onto the rubber a bit more than that. Yeah, what I'll do is, because I ain't happy with that, as a matter of fact that is absolute rubbish, so what we're going to do, leave it going round, put off some tape, put an end on it, get magnifying glasses on, like that. Now I've got a, yeah, I won't find it, will I? Bugger. Use a pencil just to get this edge down. Get the glue, the epoxy, sorry. Right, let's warm this up. Warmed that up. It was getting a bit give it a bit of a brush and a dab. Yeah, and then I ain't too fussed about this side yet. We'll get to that. We'll sort this one out first. You can see it. Get the lighter because it is a bit cold. And what you'll find is, if you heat it gently, it will get to a temperature that it'll start running around the blank. And it'll then level itself off, and it's nearly there now. And what it'll also do is any other bubbles that are in it will dissipate. Don't need to hold it close to it. That is now going to drip, but it'll run round. I think that'll be perfect. I just got to hope that I can pull this bloody stuff off and it don't take. But let's concentrate on this end now. We'll do where the threads are first. So I'm heating underneath. think you have to be a little bit more careful with the sticker because it can... This is where you now add more to it and it spoils it. But we've got the resin. You don't want it all fat and bulbous like a bloody onion, but like some people do, but you want it level. Like I say, it don't matter where you put it on. I've never done it like this. I normally go round and round, but I'm just showing you. So if it cocks up, I'll be swearing. Right, we'll heat that up. Knew that was going to happen. Back again with a new lighter. Just got to hope it goes right. It's all about hope. Don't matter how good you are at building a rod, there'll always be something wrong in it. And I'm afraid it's just the way it is. Obviously, the better you get, the less mistakes there will be in it. Or, the smaller those mistakes will become. I don't know that I'm going to get that much better, to be honest. Right, that's that on there. I need to wipe my fingers now because so you see it's all lumpy. Shit, what's that black come out of there? It's done it again. Must be out of the flipping cotton. There's nothing I can do about that. I don't know where that black comes from. That has absolutely lost me. I thought it come off the sticker, but it ain't. So that's another fault that I'm going to have in me rod, and I haven't got no idea where that black has come from, unless it's come out of the bloody cotton, which means I need to make sure I seal the cotton. That's better. Right, now if I touch any more than that, that's it, it's done. That was good. Right, so that's it. So there you've seen me do it. Things can go wrong, as you can see. Some black has leaked out of something. It's either out of the sticker, which I don't think it is. Which is a flipping annoying, because I was going to sell some of these stickers to make my money back. Can't be out of the cotton, can it? That'll do. There is no more I can do to that. That is done. I think it looks good, to be honest. Look, if I had to pay someone to do this, I would hate to think how much it would cost, to be honest. So I'm quite happy with the outcome of that, to be honest. I don't mind a little fault, because you can get on the beach and within the first session you can bloody drop the thing, can't you? And all the titivating around and getting it perfect. And I mean, I couldn't sell this rod. I couldn't sell this rod to anybody, because it's you know, because for me there's some black that's leaked out of something somewhere, and you can't sell that to someone looking like that, because it's not right. And that just goes to show how good rod builders are, that can do a rod, set it out and sell it and make some money. That's why I do it, because if I can do it, I will do it, because it saves me money, and I end up with a rod that's looking 95% right, bang on. And that's the main thing with me. That's what I do this for. I couldn't give it to a rod builder, and I'd end up crying when they said how much. I'd appreciate what they've done, because they do such a good job, but nah, not for us Norfolk lads. Us Norfolk lads, we like to keep the pennies in our pockets. Anyhow, with that bit of marbling, if anyone says to me, what's that little black mark in there, I'll say, that's my that's Verns marbling effect, and that's my signature piece. So that's what we're going to go with on that. But yep, there we go. Let me just give you a show before I hit anything. There you go. I think it looks top dollar. I hope Gordon likes it. It's not the original colours that it was with Gordon. With Gordon it was just whipped with red with a gold trim. So that's the gold one. This is Gordon's rod, and this is the butt section that you might have seen in silver. That's how I got it from Tony's Tackle. But this didn't have no silver trim in it, it was just black. And that weren't on there either. But the carbon sticker was. That is authentic. And yes, it's got a mark there already, because winter time I dropped it. But that don't matter, because all I'll do is, after I've used it a bit, I shall bring it, give it a rub down with some Scotch pad, and I'll bond a seal over the whole lot, and you'll not notice it. Brilliant. Let's get this shut up, leave that going, and that's it. Let me just quickly, while we're at it, I'll show you the motor. This is the new motor that I got. Got a stainless steel pad, screwed and drilled it through, drilled and screwed it through, made a metal bush up into a piece of plastic, pop riveted on, done up with a Allen key, and there you have it. That's a window sash motor or something, I think. Cost me a tenner. So yeah, there you have it. Next time you see me, I'll be doing the top section. Rubbing alcohol. New product I'm using. Don't use methylated spirits now. Use this because I think this gets rid of silicone. Hopefully. This is the end where I'm a bit suspicious about what's been on it. Seems as though there's been some polish on it. When I was rubbing it down with the water, it was puddling up. We don't want that. So wipe this in 3 times. Well, it's the 4th time this has been wiped now. You can only rub the rod down and prep it as best you can. And I've rubbed this down to 1 inch of its life. It's perfect now. I can only rub down bits that stick up. Anything that is dinted in that, I'm sure there's a way of filling them. But these rods are for me, and I haven't looked into how to fill a rod. You probably just use ordinary body filler, to be honest, because I've painted fishing rods with normal spray paint and they don't crack when they bend. I'll do that end again, and then I can't do any more. Perhaps there is a filler. I think I've seen some on Guide and Blanks, a filler, but I can't. I like a rod to look nice and shiny and then look after it, but if it's got knocks on it, then that tells you something about its life. You know, this is a 1980s fishing rod, and I'm afraid to say it's had a life, hasn't it? And it should resemble a bit of that life because it's an old fishing rod. And I don't want it to be 100% perfect, and I don't think I could do it 100% perfect because I lose patience. Now I'm doing this a different colour. This is going to be gold, so that revitalises me a bit. If I was doing another silver one, I'd be like, this is boring, and that's half my problem. But there will be imperfections on this rod. This rod will not be perfect. I don't claim to ever do anything perfect, but I certainly don't want to pay a rod builder to do fishing rods for me, because I wouldn't ever get an old fishing rod, because I ain't paying, especially because I can do it myself to a standard that I'm happy with. Then that's fine by me. Now I'm going to start at that end and varnish it this way, because when I go that way it leaves a puddle, and even though you do it where the whippings are, you still get a few lines. So I'm going that way so it could all go tits up, and I'm filming it, so hopefully it'll be right. Next time you see me, I will be sweating like a 54-year-old Norfolk lad varnishing a rod. Right, that's what I've got to do. I've got to go like that. So in here I've got Bonder Seal and a black pigment. This is from Guides and Blank. 3 cc's of the black in some Bonder Seal to make it a black pigment. And if it goes wrong, you'll see it, because it's a bloody nightmare. I've mixed up too much stuff yet again. Turn that on quickly. We'll put you this way so you can catch it. Turn this off. Move this down there. And carry on to there. To there. Now, I'm quite prepared that I might have to do this again, because this is looking a bit transparent, which means I haven't got enough black in it. And as I was worried, it's puddling up. Yep. It is puddling up. So I don't know how to sort that out. Yeah, it's doing it. I don't know what's the matter with this. The other rod was exactly the same. I even bought proper rubbing alcohol. Yeah, it's terrible. Absolutely terrible. What did that Terry Carroll used to do? I don't know. Right, I shall show you what the problem is. But it is bad. I've bought some rubbing alcohol. Better put the lid on before the bottle evaporates. To remove silicone. Because I believe someone's put silicone on this rod. Now what I've just shown you is how to colour a rod. This is the rod. I'm sure from this distance it looks really good. But rod building isn't a simple thing. As I say, rod building isn't a simple thing. This is going to have to be done again. I don't even know if I'm going to get my other rod done today. This is now a problematic issue. Cock. Anyhow, I bought the rubbing out the hole because on my previous rod there was a few imperfections on it where it had puddled and it had opened up. And I guessed when you paint and gloss paint and someone polishes the skirting board or a windowsill, it does it on that. You'll paint it and then the paint will just separate and it'll leave like a little volcano. Well, this is what we've got on here, look. Down here you might see it a bit better. There's a good bit there. Should see it on that there. I hope you can see that. There's lots of little dots and holes. And that's some sort of silica. Now it's either a silica that is in the rod, I don't know. I don't know. But it's an imperfection. It now needs rubbing down again and Bonder sealing again. I might even put some black paint in those holes and just see if that sorts them out. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. The trouble is with Bonder seal, no matter what happens, if you get any runs or anything on it, you've just got to leave it. You've got to rub it down and start again. It's the nature of the beast. If I touch that now, it'll just pull it, make a huge lump on it, and then you've got even more rubbing down to do. But nothing's easy. You see, now this is an old fishing rod. You get a new fishing rod. I haven't had a problem with this at all, apart from these two 2500 M's. Now they're from another era. They're from another era. I don't know what Terry Carroll built them with, but all I know is it's as though it's got silicone in it. Bloody hell. It's annoying. But you can't make it perfect, can you? So yeah, I'm a little bit hacked off now, because if I black this up, that should be done now. Once it's dry, I'll take it off, I'll put my other rod in and I'll start the high build on that. I've got 2 rods to do. I've got this month to do it. Now it sounds like plenty of time, but I've got other things to do, and at the moment those other things are taking a back seat because I need to break the back of this, and that's the wrong way to run your life. But there you go. I'll see you in a bit. The next time you see me, I've shown you how to black it. I'm not going to show you how I correct it. I'll tell you how I correct it, because filming and doing it's all stressful, and I can't be dealing with it. So what I shall do is the next time you see me, I'll be sorting this out, getting on with it. I'll tell you what I've done to correct it, and Ah, I'm mortified. See you in a bit. Next time you see me, I'll tell you about this rod and I'll be putting the rings on. Right, well, since 2 seconds ago, when you was last watching me, I'd blacked this rod up. And now you can see that it's not a gloss black now, it's matted. That's because on these rods, and I believe it happens with a few Zziplex, definitely with my ones, they keep puddling and you end up with a volcano, like a crater. And when you paint, you normally get that with silicone. But it's happening on these rods, and I've been told that you got to rub, rub and rub to get rid of it. Well, I didn't really like to do that. So I blobbed them all. I must have had 45 blobs of high build on here. I was going to use a bin paint, which is a blocking paint. But I haven't. I've done it with Bonder Seal. And it's got the black pigment in. Now, some are better than others, and I'm going to have to Bonder Seal this, and then I'll have to rub it down again, and then hopefully the third coat of Bonder Seal will be the right coat. But look, this is where we're at. All these marks, if you can see them, they're all, if you can see them, it's literally not the liney marks, it's the round dots like that one there. You can see them there. There. They were everywhere. And it was unbelievable. I had it on my first rod, my silver 2500. And it was terrible. I think that was Tom just going on. He's got a long drive tomorrow. So yeah, when you eventually see this, there's a Wednesday been missed. No video out, I'm afraid. So I might have to do a live, or I might not. We might just miss a Wednesday. That'll keep people on their toes, won't it? So yeah, I was absolutely traumatised yesterday. So instead of what's the word? Instead of rubbing it all down to an inch of its life, I didn't want to risk it. So what I've done is I've rubbed this down now to get all these as flat as possible. So the next coat of Bonder Seal should fill any gaps in that and should sort it all out. So basically it's like a filler. Where's that water got on there? So what we'll do is we'll put the second coat on. I really aren't expecting it to be perfect or good enough to be the finished coat. So if I do it tonight, it is Monday 25th, I think. So tomorrow morning when I come home from work, I'll be able to rub it down, put the third coat on, so that then on the Wednesday, if that coat is perfect, I'll be able to put the eyes on. And then it's starting to whip it. So let's get on. Don't do what I just did then. I just rubbed it down with water and I'm not letting it dry properly. I have wiped it with a cloth and it is dry. And in this weather, it should be fan-dabby doozy. So I'm now wiping the blank over yet again with thinners. The reason for that is it's 1, to clean it, 2, take any silicone off that shouldn't be on it, as if that's going to bloody happen, and 3, remove my fingerprints, which are greasy, aren't they? Now I'm hoping it's going to be alright, because when I was rubbing it down with water this afternoon, the water wasn't puddling. It was staying as a film of water on the surface. So if that being the case, I shouldn't have any grief. And there's the dirt. Don't want that on there, do you? So what I shall do next is clean it again till I get something that is clean. You got to remember that this rod is 40 years old, so even if, yes, you can get it looking absolutely pristine if you're good enough to do it. So I've still got dirt coming off. Yeah, you can get it so that it's spotless, like a brand new rod. Yes, it will look like a brand new rod. Will it be 100% perfect? I very much doubt it. There's always something that goes wrong, and after yesterday I should know, because what a nightmare that was yesterday. Now what the purple stuff was methylated spirits, this is rubbing alcohol. I'm hoping by using the both that any grease or silicone that is on it will be gotten rid of. But I did this yesterday 5 times prior to painting it, and it didn't do the slightest bit of difference. Whatever it is what Terry Carroll's put in the bloody rod. Right, that's still not clean, but it's clean enough for me. So I've done the normal thing where I've mixed this, I've poured Bondasil in and then put my pigment in, and I ain't shown you. I tell you, trying to do a rod that you do normally and you don't film it, to then filming it, you don't forget to do stuff. Right, now then, nearly forgot to tack cloth it. Right, sort that out in a bit. There we go. Fuck off, fly! Where's the fly come from? Get off! What am I, a piece of dirt? Fucks. Right, here we go. I always mix up too much this Bonzer seal. And don't turn it. I'm risking it here. Don't turn it while you're brushing it because it'll just put in imperfections. Now I can see imperfections coming in this. But I just want to put a deep coat on that I can then rub down lightly. So I need to lather it on. Now I've got marks on the bench, so I go between the marks because I know that's where the eyes are. Yeah, and if I do that, I turned it again then. Got marks in it there. Just don't want any bubbles in. And I can see a few, but we're putting this on quite thick. Sorry about that if you didn't catch that. Right, well I can honestly say that this rod from yesterday is 200 times better. The fumes of this are terrible. I can't rub that. You see I've got 2 lines there and there. Because I'm keep putting it on thick and you're not meant to do that. Once you've done a pass, that's it, you leave it. But I'm having to lather this on. Let's get some tape. If I don't take this end, it works its way out. See, now if I'd got out here earlier and done it, I could have actually put 2 coats on tonight. I always worry and fret and think, oh my lord, when I should just get on with it and do it. I am really happy with this. There was a lot of bubbles show up on this. It weren't good. But I can't see any crevices. Oh yeah, I can. 1, 2, 3. But I said to the wife, that be her indoors, and I said to her, I had 35 to 40 yesterday. I could have had even more. Now with this today, I can see 3 up to now. So all I'll do tomorrow, all I'll do tonight, because I've got the stuff mixed up, is what I'll do is, as soon as this rod has gone off, which won't be too long, it'll probably be an hour, I shall cover that up. There you go. And what I'll do is, there's another one there. All the brushes. These are all the brushes that I've used since I've been doing rods. And I only use these brushes for putting the coating on. So yeah. So I said to the wife, if I end up with 5 or a few more imperfections, then it shows that what I've done has been good. It's terrible, it is. I don't know what Terry Carroll put in these rods, but the Bonder seal don't take. I reckon he sprayed them, you know. I reckon he sprayed them with paint. I think this Bonder seal, like, it's brilliant. You put the pigment in the rod, it dyes it black. Fantastic. But I just seem to think that that ain't what they used back then. I reckon they used some sort of cellulose paint, something like that. In matter of fact, that might be what it is. It might be old cellulose paint. If anybody knows what they used to put the black on, I think I've been told once that they used piano black paint. So I've spray painted rods before and they've never come to any harm, but I'm doing what I've been told and it's having an adverse effect. So it must be old cellulose paint, but I've rubbed it, but it might impregnate into the carbon, mightn't it? So anyhow, like I say, I had 40 defects in this the other day and I don't think I've got that many now. So it'll get rubbed down again. What I'll do is tonight, I won't show you, but I'll get a little tiny brush like this, little artist brush like that, dip it in the Bonder seal and it'll get blobbed on, a big blob of paint over the whole area, and then when I flatten that off, the next coat will be brilliant, and that'll be done later tonight. The time now is 9 o'clock, so it's 10:30ish. I'll come out here and I'll Bonder seal this with dobs of paint. Tomorrow I will rub it down, flatten it off to the same standard as it was before, and then I'm praying to God that that will be the last coat of paint. It might not be. I might have to do a 4th. Jesus wept. This rod has been this has been the worst rod for putting the coat Bonder seal on. But it's going to look fantastic when it's finished, so that's the main thing. So I'll see you. I'm not going to show you blobbing paint on. You just dip the paint brush in the Bonder seal that I've got left over and dob it on the brush, on the rod. And then when I ain't got to lather it on so thick, it will get Bonder sealed, so it's got none of these runs in it, because if I get runs in the final coat, I'll have to do another coat. So I'll see you next time you see me. I'll be doing this again.